Welcome back to Learn with Chris. I'm Chris. So in this video, I'm going to continue with our building vocabulary series, and we're going to be doing a second video about idioms or idiomatic expressions. So our three idioms for today are serves you right, once in a blue moon, and bite the bullet. So I'll go through all of these, explaining them and trying to give origins, meanings, when to use them, and example sentences. So the first one, serves you right. We're not entirely sure about where this comes from. The origin is not exactly clear, but it seems to be related to something about being served justice or deserving of something. It is right that you have gotten what you have received. So the meaning of serves you right is when some consequence happens to somebody because of their own actions. And it's usually a negative thing happens to them because they've made some stupid choices or poor decisions, something like that. So if you do something stupid or wrong or not thought out very clearly, and then a negative consequence happens because of your bad choices, then people would say serves you right. You deserve the negative consequence of your stupid actions or your poor choices. So that's what it means, right? It's an expression to tell people you deserve that because you weren't very smart about your choices, basically. So that's when we use it. So if somebody has a bad result, a bad outcome happens because of their behaviors or their bad choices, and me, the speaker, who would say to them, serves you right, that's because I think the bad outcome is justified. They deserved it, basically, right? Now, this could be done in humor. It can be humorous, or it could be with disappointment or criticism. So humorous would be something like, I'll just give you some examples for serves you right. Let's say that you're at a bar with your friends and everybody's drinking, and one of your friends gets too drunk, and then they kind of stand up on one of the tables and they start dancing like an idiot. This is their poor choice. And then, of course, because they're drunk, they fall off the table, and then everybody laughs at them and says, serves you right. Something like that, right? Now, of course, if it gets a little bit too serious, like they fall off their table and they break their head open, you would not say serves you right because the outcome is too serious for the choices that they made. So it has to be tempered in that way. So an example sentence for this would be, Thomas didn't bother studying for his chemistry final exam, so it serves him right that he failed. So you didn't study for the test, you failed the test, serves you right. So bad choice, bad decision making. I don't want to study for my test because I want to play computer games. All right. The consequence is you failed the test. Serves you right. You should have known better. You shouldn't have done that. So it serves you right, but of course you're going to change the pronoun. It could serve me right, or him or her. It depends on who we're talking about. So we're going to change the pronoun. I've also picked this expression serves you right because it's one of the few idioms I know in Thai language. In Thai language, it's sam nam na. That's how you say it in Thai language. Although I think in Thai language, it's a little bit more serious than it is in English. It's actually considered more rude to say that. In English, it's not so bad to say serves you right because it's often humorous. When people, you laugh at your friends because they did something stupid, serves you right is fine. But I think in Thai language, it's a little bit more serious because when I use it, I don't get such a good response, especially from my wife. Like she tells me to not say that, right? Because it's too rude. But sam nam na is what you say in Thai language for serves you right. And I'm sure that there's an expression for serves you right in every language in the world because again, idioms match with particular situations. The situation is your friend does something stupid and then something bad happens to your friend. That's the situation. That can happen in every language, and I'm sure there's an expression for every language for serves you right. Okay, our next example is once in a blue moon. And this has an astronomy origin. So a blue moon is when you have two full moons in the same month. And this is very, very rare. It's rare because a full moon happens every 29 and a half days. So the only way to get a blue moon is if you have like a full moon on the 1st of the month, and then another full moon on like the 30th or the 31st of the same month. That second full moon, we call it a blue moon. Now, it doesn't mean that the sky turns blue or the moon is blue. Well, sorry, the sky is blue, sorry. It doesn't mean that the moon turns blue, but that's what we call it. We call it a blue moon. So, and blue moons happen because of the calendar maybe once every 2 or 3 years. So it's quite rare. And that is the meaning. When something happens very rarely, that is once in a blue moon. That's what it means. And that's when you would use it as well. If you're describing an event or an occurrence or activity that happens very rarely, that would be once in a blue moon. So you're going to use once in a blue moon to describe the activity or the event. It could also be people's behavior as well. Like maybe you eat pizza once in a blue moon. That means you eat pizza very rarely. That's the point. So an example, because Susan is so addicted to fitness, she only eats junk food once in a blue moon, right? So she'll have junk food once a year or something like that because she is addicted to fitness and she doesn't want to eat bad food. So once in a blue moon. And our last example, bite the bullet. So this comes from the 19th century, related to surgeries, where the doctor, if you have a soldier in a war and he needs surgery, before modern times, they had no, they couldn't give them any, what's it called, anesthetic or I forget what it's called. When you give people medicine and they don't feel pain. Is it anesthetic? I'll write the word. I can't remember what it is. It's a medical word. But anyway, so today, of course, if you're going to have surgery, they'll give you some type of medicine so that you don't feel any pain. But 200 years ago, they didn't have that. So they would actually quite literally give you a bullet and put it in your teeth, and you would bite down on the bullet as they're cutting into your body doing the surgery. So very, very kind of serious situation, right? So the idea of biting the bullet was that, and that's the meaning of it. So you're in a very difficult situation, like you need surgery, and you have to deal with it. You have to face it. What else are you going to do? Die? So you have no choice but to bite the bullet and to accept this situation. And that's the meaning of bite the bullet in modern language. It's to face difficult situations with courage because you have no choice, right? So the situation for bite the bullet is when someone has to deal with a tough situation or an uncomfortable situation that they can't avoid. There's nothing they can do about it. They have to deal with it. They have to face with it. They have to go through it, right? So difficult situation, you have to go through it. Then we would say, bite the bullet, you got to do it. Or you have to bite the bullet and do it. Like whatever it is, whatever the situation is, bite the bullet and get through it and do it. So an example sentence for this, it's tough, but you'll have to bite the bullet and tell Laura the bad news. So there's some bad news you have to tell Laura. I don't know, you're cheating on her or her mother died or something very serious. Bite the bullet and tell her. So you have to do it. You don't have a choice. So that's bite the bullet. Okay, so to recap our 3 idioms for today, serves you right when you do something, you or your friend or somebody else does something stupid because of poor choices, and then they have a negative consequence of that, and then your friends are going to say, serves you right. You deserve the negative effect because you were being stupid or you made bad choices. Our second one, once in a blue moon. That's very easy. It just means something that happens very rarely. If you do something once a year or once every 2 years, you could say once in a blue moon, I do this, right? So it's very straightforward. And then bite the bullet is when you have no choice but to deal with some difficult situation and you can't avoid it. You have to deal with it and you have to try to be, have a bit of courage and go do it, right? You have to bite the bullet and deal with this problem, basically. Okay, that's it. So 3 idioms for today. Thank you for your time. Have a good day as always and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.